Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I want to thank everyone who has been so wonderful and kind to me. Your emails, your coffees, your consideration with the things that you send me. I've gotten the video sent to me where we know who Megalodon was asked the question between Prince William and Prince Harry. Thank you guys for doing that. The love that you guys show me is so appreciated. I wish I could sit and write every one of you just a nice, lovely, long email. But if I did that, I just would not get any work done. So please forgive me for not being able to have a lot of time to do that. But I do receive your emails and your things you send me on social media, and it warms my heart. It really does. And I'm so grateful. I have friends all around the world, and that is what is so special. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. I've gotten pictures of people with their grandchildren, and I've gotten pictures of other pugs, and it's just so cute how like my whole world has just opened up, and I am just very thankful. So what I want to do with this video, I am going to just talk a little bit about how I came to learn about Princess Diana, what happened in my life that was completely influenced by Princess Diana, and how I dealt with the death of Princess Diana. I've mentioned this a few times in the past, but considering this is the 24th anniversary of Princess Diana's death, I kind of just wanted to reminisce a little bit about it and talk about Princess Diana and who she was and what I see going forward with her son. So this is, for me, the memories that I have of Diana. I don't know how it really came to be that I was so drawn to her. Like, there was nothing specific that she actually did. She simply got married to a prince. And, you know, that is a big deal. But you know, people get married all the time, and this is on the other side of the world for me. But it was newsworthy. And we have, of course, young girls who dream of getting married to a prince. I don't know why girls dream of getting married to a prince, but they do. Oh, you guys should see this. Mr. Otis, he is like... He is just sitting there right now looking at me. He is like my one audience member. I'm going to take a picture and show you guys what he is doing. He literally is sitting right there just watching me talk right now, because he's like, okay, it's showtime. But he'll fall asleep real soon, because you know he's going to be like, okay, she ain't talking about nothing. He's going to go straight to sleep and start snoring. But Princess Diana getting married was news over here in America. And, you know, I don't know how I caught the news that day. I mean, I'm 12 years old. I'm not really paying attention to the news. But this woman is being chased and harassed by reporters about, you know, being the future Queen of England. And I was just like, okay, who's this? Who's this woman? And it was like, when I saw Diana, I was like, oh, isn't she sweet? You know, and in the news, they were just making a big deal about the wedding. I was like, oh, a prince. She gonna be a princess. It's like a real life princess, y'all. And I'm thinking, this is interesting, because all girls, and I'm sure you guys know, they dream of their wedding day. They do. That was in my past. It's just like, okay, that done left my brain, because I'm married now, but when I was young, that's like what your life goal was to be a princess. And the day you get to become a princess is on your wedding day. So this was a big deal, the build up to Princess Diana's wedding. And she was just this young girl, And she worked with children, and she was young and innocent, and just like she had a vibe about her. Like when you see her, when you saw Princess Diana, you just think, oh, and she's so sweet. Look at her. Like you are just drawn to her. Like she is like an angel. She just seems so pure and just sweet. And she was already shy. She wasn't coming into the situation boastful and I'm marrying a prince and, haughty. And she was very timid. And, they called her Shy Di. And she was very reserved and taken aback by all of the attention. And that's what people loved about her. That is what drew people into her, because she didn't expect a certain amount of attention given to her. It was too much for her. And some people just have that it factor. Some people they just have it. And Princess Diana, she had it like that. And so getting up in the morning, early morning hours at 5 a.m. for me, watching that wedding and just looking at her in that beautiful dress, walking down the aisle, dreaming. It was like a dream. And then ever since, whenever there was a book out, whenever there was information or news about Diana, it just drew me in. And I always had to have whatever book, color books on the dresses and the charities and things. Like I was always buying books that talked about Diana. And that is what she did for me. She had given me this sense of humanitarianism, this, wanting to do something good in the world, because that's what she did. She brought attention to the good things that charities do. She lent her name to the good causes. And that is what drew me. That is what made me really, really like her, because she was all about other people. It wasn't about her. It was about others. And the thing that I liked most about her is that she didn't want to wear gloves when she would go out and meet the people. She wanted that direct contact with people. She didn't want to wear hats when she was out, because you can't hug a child with a hat on. Like, these are things that show you she is really truly about the other people that she is out there to meet. And this is why I get so upset about the current situation. This is why I think I like Kate so much more, because you can tell she's a woman who has lived a lot longer life coming into the royal family, but she's learned her way of what it means to be a royal. But then we got that the opposite of that with the megalodon, and she's doing things and it's all about her. And that's the one thing that I just despise, because it ain't about you. And not only that, but she's using the other people to empower and to rise her own profile and status. So she's using the people that she's supposed to be giving towards. She's using those people. And this is something that would have appalled Diana. She would have not tolerated that. She would have seen through someone like Harry's wife like that, because she had an intuition. She had things about her that she just knew, because she just had that good type of persona and quality about herself. And seeing Diana do the things that she did, it helped me to be a better person, because I always felt like I should emulate the giving nature that she had, because I looked up to her. And that's what I do today. I'm very, very passionate about the work that I do with my charity and helping young people all young people who are underserved, not just black children, white children, all kind of children who don't have those home environments where they get the love and nurture that they need and the education that they need. When I first heard Princess Diana speak, I was like, why she sound like that? I thought, wow, she talks funny. Why did she, like, it didn't match for me. Like, I did not imagine her voice sounding like that. And I was so tickled by it because it just shows you how I wasn't used to no one foreign. It was all, I only knew Americans. But she opened my mind to the world. Like, I got to really learn about the country over in England and the UK, and when I would look at the books, the picture books, and they have in the pounds, the sign for the pound sign, it wouldn't be dollars. And I was like, well, what kind of money is that? And why did she talk like that? And where is this place that she lives? And like, all these questions came up for me that I became educated about just because I looked to this woman and admired her so much. I was curious about the country that she came from. And it's so much education for me came out of my getting to know who Princess Diana was. I mean, I know it seems silly now, but think about it. When you were a young kid, you have no real knowledge about the world at all. All you know is what you know in your four corners of your neighborhood, and that's what you know. And in school, you'll hear about things, but that stuff you'll hear about it, but does it really stick? You're just trying to get the information to pass the test, or you're really taking in the information and learning about it. For me, school was just like it was for Diana. Diana did not do well in school. It was a lot harder for her, and it was the same for me too. So I didn't grow up with all this really informative knowledge about the world and different people and countries. Those things just were secondary. You first got to learn how to read, girl. Learn how to read. Then you start learning about things over in other countries. But it was the fascination with her really educated me about the world at a young age. And that is what I appreciate about her. And this is why when I talk about the things with Harry and his wife, because I'm going to bring up these contrasts, because there are a lot of contrasts that we cannot overlook, because people will try to make this comparison with Harry and his wife and Diana, and the reason why we know this is because Harry has already done it. He's already tried to show the comparisons with his wife and his mother by saying that they both had a hard time in the royal family. They're both, he dated someone of color, so did his mother. Like, he's trying to reel in those similarities, but we ain't letting him. No, he ain't bringing in those similarities. You gonna talk, if we're gonna bring in similarities, it's gonna be like the good example and then the bad example. It's gonna be, we're not looking at similarities. We're gonna look at this here, and then we're gonna look at the extreme. It's not equal. That. If anything, that's how we're gonna look at it. So all through my life growing up, and then there becomes issues with the marriage, and then there's a book, and then there's drama. Then she's in the tabloids, and it's like I'm caught up in all of the things about Diana's personal life. No longer am I looking at the things that she's doing with her charities and looking at the beautiful dresses and listening to her speeches, but I'm caught up in the personal details of her life and how she's suffering now. And now I'm really invested. Wow, my heart is breaking for this woman that I admire, and why is this happening to her? And suddenly I find myself rooting for her to, you know, have her life become better, because I think she's got issues she's dealing with, and I'm caught up in that. I was asleep. I think it was like 2 in the morning or something like that when my aunt from California phoned me, because everybody in my family knew I love Princess Diana. Like, they didn't know who she was until I told them. Nobody knew nothing. I mean, my aunt knew she had to call me when she heard the news. And I remember the phone ringing that late at night thinking, this cannot be good. This cannot be good. And I answered the phone and she told me what had happened. And I just was like, shocked. I went into like, oh my gosh, no. And I turned on the television and I literally sat in front of that TV and I was traumatized. How could it be? How could it be that this beautiful woman at the age of 36 was dead? She will never ever age. She will always be remembered as that 36-year-old. And sitting in front of the telly, watching the news, all the crowds and the people taking flowers to her residence at Kensington Palace was such a shocking and sad moment for me. And I've since gone to the Alma Tunnel where she had the accident, and it was something that will always be with me. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about what I talk about here. And what I'm learning about. I'm constantly learning about things in the UK, because the formalities of the protocols and the traditions in the UK has taught me a lot, because of just talking about the things on my channel. But Meghan coming in as an exceptionally outside of the circles of the royal, had a duty to really understand what it was that she was getting herself into, and how she has trashed that opportunity so much is disgraceful, and it's embarrassing to myself and other Americans who see what she has done. It's embarrassing to go to a foreign country and to behave like that. And not only that, but to marry into a family with this close ties and traditions to this country and the Commonwealth, to come into that and to behave like this. It's so egregious and appalling and disrespectful. And how she's ripped Harry out of something that he should be still attached to. I can see how most people in the UK view her, Megalodon, because it's just showing an uneducated woman coming into something, trying to make it her own, and you're not even in your own country, and you're trying to claim hold to something that is not even from your country. And that's disrespectful. When you are visiting a foreign country, you are to adapt to that country and how they do things out of respect. She lacks basic respect for the family that she knew that she was committing herself to. She had suffered a massive chest injury, and it was a small tear in her lung. And we know she could have survived because the driver the bodyguard that was sitting in the seat in front of her survived. He was wearing his seatbelt, and he would have taken more of a hit from the crash being in the front. Diana's impact would have not as been as strong as Trevor's, and he was in the front seat. So Diana being in the back seat, had she had her seatbelt on, she could have lived. But I find it so weird that she did not have her seatbelt on. She always put her seatbelt on, but she didn't in this situation. Why? I heard there were cases where the seatbelts weren't working, especially if the car is speeding and they've have this tension going. There were problems with the vehicle. Why were the cameras turned off? There are so many questions that I have about the accident and her death that I won't talk about those things here, but what really is sad is that she could have lived. It wasn't. And it's the people that make mistakes intentionally all the time. Like, we know who. Those are the kind of people we ain't got time for those kind of people. Because they take away from things. They bring in lies and falseness. They don't bring anything good to the world. They suck things out of the world to help themselves. But Diana, she was giving. She gave to the world. She brought good to the world. She planted seeds of goodness. She really started things that are lasting, that continue to flourish and to represent goodness. But Harry and his wife, Harry is breeding or has been led by a bad seed that is still got him somewhat corrupted in his thinking, and nothing good is coming out of that. Nothing good. And them trying to plant goodness is perpetrating goodness. It's like someone copying a designer bag. That's a fake. That's a knockoff. The quality's not good. You cheap. You ain't what you think you are. Diana was the real deal. She was the real deal. And it will never be anyone ever again in this world like Princess Diana.